Hey, you guys, welcome back. Let's go and finish this up. So, we just did the Sour Punch straws. We figured out the discount, the new price, the tax, and the total. Let's go to the Airheads. So, Airheads are $12.15. There we go. There's a 40% discount, which would be awesome. I would stock up. I'm a big Airhead fan, all right? Especially the red and blue ones. So, we got $12.15. We're going to multiply it by our discount amount times 40%. And we get $4.86. What that means is that they're going to take $4.86 off of the price. It's going to be cheaper, which is great. It's always what we want. So I'm going to subtract 12.15 minus 4.86 and end up with $7.29. That's the new price. Now that I found the new price, this and this don't matter anymore. All right. So now we have 7% tax. We're just going to calculate it on the new price. So 7% multiplied by our new price of $7.29. And we get tax amount of 51 cents. Now, the total is our tax plus our new price, so 51 cents, plus $7.21, 0.51 plus 7.29. And remember, I'm using the rounded numbers, as you can tell. All right, see how I turned the 0.51? I'm not using the number right above. That's going to give me a different answer, okay? It could affect my rounding. So just the money rounded amounts is what we add up. And we get 7.8, which is $7.80. All right, the next one, Starburst. So the price of Starburst is $7.89. There's a 40% discount. Wow, what a great discount once again. So we're going to take our price of the Starburst, $7.89, and we're going to multiply by 40%. And we get $3.16. All right, so they're taking $3.16 off the price, which is pretty great. So let's take our original cost, $7.89, and subtract the discount amount, minus $3.16. And we get $4.73. Awesome. Now that we found the new price, we're going to go and calculate tax. And remember, tax is only calculated on the new price, not the old price and not the discount amount, just the new price. So 7% multiplied by $4.73 gives us a total tax amount of 33 cents, 0.33. And please always do me a favor, add the zero right in front of your decimal. Some kids just write this. They'll write 0.33. But sometimes the handwriting's kind of hard to read. And sometimes to me, it just looks like $33. I can't see that little decimal in front. Add the zero if the dollars are zero. All right. So the new price plus the tax is going to give us the total. So we got $4.73 plus 0.33. And we get a total amount of $5.06. 5.06. Perfect. Let's look down here. Nike makes gray hoodies in China for $7. They mark them up 900%. Can you imagine that? That's insane. But that's how they make so much money too. So the markup price, we're going to go and take our percentage, 900%, and we're going to multiply it by our original cost of $7. So 900% multiplied by 7 gives us $63. Now that's just the markup price. So they're going to mark it up an extra $63, but they're not just going to sell it for that. They're going to sell it for that plus whatever it cost them to make it. So 63, our markup price, plus their original cost, $7. We're going to add them up for the new price they'll sell it for. That's $70. Let's look at this one. Amalia sells cars. She gets a base pay of $600 per month. The base pay is whatever she gets no matter what. So she could be the worst car salesperson in the world and still get $600 a month, guaranteed. Or she could be the greatest car salesperson in the world and get $600 plus a little bit of everything she sells. This is guaranteed money no matter what. So she also gets 12% commission. Whoops. Oh, wow, good. This month her sales totaled $23,500. So here's her commission amount, 12%. She gets 12% commission of her total sales. So I'm going to multiply my commission amount by my sales amount. All right, 12% multiplied by $23,500, and we get $2,820. But wait, this question says, what are her total earnings this month? She gets the 2,820 bucks. Oh my gosh, what is it doing? That was so weird. No idea what that was. All right, there we go. So, based on her commission amount, she gets $2,820. But that's not the total amount she's going to receive because she also gets that base pay. So, she gets her commission amount plus $600. So, in total, she's going to make $3,420 this month. Oh my gosh, what is it doing? That is so weird. I don't know what that is. No idea. Anyway, her total amount earnings this month are $3,420. If you want to have a comma separating from the thousandths place to the hundred, or sorry, the thousands place and the hundreds place, it's totally cool. If you don't and just wrote 3420, also just fine. Just remember this comma is not a decimal. They're very different. All right, we're going to scroll down. Let me give that an erase. There we go. Let's scroll down. Whoops. There we go. All right, what do the variables stand for in the simple interest formula? So I is equal to P times R times T. The I stands for interest, which is always in money. And interest is the money you pay back on top of a loan, or it's the money that the bank pays you when you keep your money at their bank. P is for the principal, and it's also in terms of money. It's not like principal sergeant, right? Whenever we're talking about the principal in terms of money, it's like how much you took out of a loan. So if you took $1,000 loan out of the bank, that's your principal. Or if you put $500 in your bank account to open it up with, that's your principal. It's the original amount you borrow or invest. All right. The rate is R, and it's always in a percentage. And the T is time, and it's always in years. So let's look at this first one. Milo wanted to buy a new Xbox so he could play Fortnite. He took out a loan for $600 at a 7% interest rate over 4 years. How much interest did he pay? Let me show you how I always do these problems. Some kids don't do this, and I feel like it's easy to make a mistake. But I always do this, and it helps me out. I always write the formula out. Some kids try to just do it in their calculator or in their head, and oh man, it's easy to make errors that way. So let's write out the formula, and then underneath each letter, I'm going to go and fill in the money or the number that belongs underneath it. So he took out a loan for $600. That's the loan he took out. That's the original amount that he borrowed. That's going to be the principal. All right. At 7% interest rate, that's the rate. It's always in a percentage. And over 4 years, that's our time. So multiplied by 4. And then we're missing the I, so I'm going to keep my I, my equal sign, and then I'm going to go and solve for I. Now, these are easy. When we're looking for the interest, we just get to multiply everything together. So let's go. 600 times 7% times 4, and that gives us an interest amount of $168. So he paid $168 in interest. All right. Not only did he pay back the $600 he took out a loan for, he's got to pay this back on top of it. All right. Sangeeta paid $400 in interest on the $2,000 loan she took out to travel to New York City. If it took her 8 years to pay the loan back, what interest rate did she receive? So let's go and write our formula. It's a great first step. I equals P times R times T. Sangeeta paid $400 in interest. It tells you she paid $400 in what? In interest. So that's our I on the $2,000 loan she took out. The loan amount she took out is our principal. If it took her 8 years to pay it back, oh, so it looks like we don't have a rate because there's no number with a percentage. It took her 8 years to pay it back. So we're looking for the interest rate that she received. So we're going to look through this one. Now, we need to get R by itself. Now, currently there's 2,000 times R times 8. We can actually combine that 2008 over here because all these numbers are multiplied together. We can take those two numbers and go ahead and multiply them together. 2,000 times 8 gives me 16,000. And I still have my R right here. And my 400 equals. So now I can go through and divide, just like any other one-step equation, divide them both by 16,000. to get R by itself, 16,000. And now I'm going to be very careful about putting this into my calculator. Kids always want to put the bigger number on top, or I'm sorry, the bigger number in first. But look, 16,000 is on the bottom. That means it's going to come second in the calculator. The order you put this in really does matter. So I'm going to do in my calculator 400 divided by 16,000. And I get a really small number. Look how small this number is. R equals 0.025. But when we're dealing with a rate, we always want it to be in the form of a percentage. So there's a calculator button that does this for you, all right? Or if you just remember, move your decimal place 2 spots to the right, and there you go. So R is equal to 2.5%. 2.5%. Let's look at the next one. Caitlin put $400 in her bank account with a 6.5% interest rate. How many years would it take her to earn $50 in interest? So I'm going to write my formula down. I equals P times R times T. Caitlin put $400 in her bank account. That's the original amount she invested. That's the principal. With a 6.5% interest rate, it's a percentage. That is my rate. And how many years would it take her? Oh, so I don't know the T. I don't know the time. If she wanted to earn $50 in interest, the $50 is my interest. So just like we did before, we are trying to get the variable by itself. But we have these two numbers over here. We can go ahead and actually multiply those together to turn them into one number. So 400 times 6.5%. 400 times 6.5%, don't forget the percent sign, is 26. 26, I still have my T right here. I'm going to bring it down. And then I'll bring down the rest of my equation, 50 equals. Now, when I was making this problem, I actually meant for this to work out to be 25T, but we make mistakes. So I'm going to divide both sides by 26. Now T is by itself, but 50 divided by 26, if you put it in the calculator, it gives you a really long, crazy number. And we're just going to round it to the 10th place. We'll say it's 1.9. So T equals 1.9 years. All right. Let's look at this one. Fola took out a loan for $750 at a 3.5% interest rate. If she pays back the money in 4 years, what is the total amount of money she will pay back? Let's write our formula down. I equals P times R times T. She took out a loan for $750. Whatever original amount you borrow or invest, that's our principal. So $750 is the principal. She pays back the money in 4 years. Oh, wait, I missed this. 3.5% interest rate. So we have the R times 3.5%. Perfect. And in 4 years times 4. Oh, this is great. These are always great when we're looking for the interest because this is the easiest one. I can just multiply all those numbers together if I'm looking for the interest. $750 times 3.5% times 4 gives me an interest amount of $105. But the question's not asking how much interest she's going to pay. It's asking what's the total amount of money she's going to pay back. The total. When we do the total, it's the principal plus the interest. So I just calculated the interest of 105. I'm going to add the principal to it because when you pay back a loan, you got to pay the principal, whatever you took out, plus the interest that you earn on it, okay? So 105 plus the principal gives me a grand total of 105 plus 750. Gives me $855. So she's going to pay back in total $855. All right, let's scroll down over here. We'll give this an erase. All right, let's look at these. All right, so question 12. Actually, I'm going to cut it off right there, and we will pick up with this in part 3, okay?